Hello, my friends. Here I am, Pedro Candeias, the founder of Karate Science Academy, for one more open lesson inside our YouTube, where I make the bridge, okay, between the best available evidence about training methodology and all the karate coaches and students and athletes that follow my work and watch my videos here on YouTube, okay? Today, I'm going to talk about a very specific issue theme about the karate training itself, based on a question made by a friend of mine that follows Karate Science Academy for a few years, that is Oscar Vázquez Casas, from Bilbao in Spain, where in the last lesson I gave about the aim, okay, the aim in Kumite. He asked me, I'm going to show you, but it's in Spanish, but just so you can see and make things a little more dynamic. Okay, here it is, the question, and translated to English. He in the lesson about the aim, okay, how to improve the aim in Kumite. He asked me if, for example, using tennis balls to improve the eye-hand coordination, that is the main theme of this lesson today, if we could improve our eye-hand coordination using tennis balls, for example, and if it was highly transferable to what we need in Kumite in terms of aim, for example. Okay, so let's see what I have to say about it. I'm going to stop sharing this. So let's start by understanding one thing. Eye-hand coordination is what it's called technically visual motor skills, okay, or coordination, visual motor coordination, where my eyes, my vision, the visual information I get will help, well coordinated with my hand or my feet, my foot, or an elbow or a knee, for example, will let me to be more accurate, okay, in terms of reaching an external object, a target, for example. Okay, that's what we want to do in Kumite. We want to have, we want to be more successful in terms of being able to reach the target we are aiming for. Okay, to punch or score a point, Jordan, for example, or Shuden, or kicking a leg, okay, in types of combat where we can strike the legs also, for example. So the eye-hand coordination will help us to be more successful in that task, in reaching an external object where I'm aiming my, yes, okay, my attack. So let's share this again. So the first question is, working or training my or your eye-hand coordination or foot or whatever, okay? Oh my God, coordination with tennis balls will improve my accuracy or aim in Kumite, in a fight. Well, the answer is has two phases. First of all, if you work with a tennis ball, for example, or any other object, in terms of trying to catch it, for example, I'm going to show you an example of a training from Agayev. My eye-hand coordination will improve, yes, okay? But I will improve a little bit my generic eye-hand coordination, okay? And I will get really good in getting in the tennis ball, okay? In terms of eye-hand coordination, okay? I'm going to improve my eye-hand coordination, my precision, my accuracy against that specific object that is grabbing a ball. That might transfer to any task where I have to grab something, especially if it's small and rounded, okay? But if it is a small box, if it is whatever, I will get some transfer from one to another, okay? It's the same type of task. The question is, when I have to strike, to attack a completely different object that is our opponent, that has very specific and also random movements, actions, reactions, is a very big size. I don't want most of the time to grab him. I just want to punch it, kick it, or whatever. The type of motion that the opponent is making is not quite the same thing as catching a ball that is falling towards the ground, for example. So when we look to the external object of a fight, that is a real person that has very specific movements, actions, reactions, sizes. He can has several targets available to punch or to attack, and other ones might be close, for example. It's too much information to get from an exercise where I improve my eye-hand coordination just trying to catch a ball. Okay? It's not transferable. I'm not saying that the transferability is zero. It can be 5%, 10%, but it's far, far away from being the best way, the most optimal way of maximizing your karateka's accuracy or aim. Okay, let's see an example here. Listen, when we have to react or have to, because listen, the Kumite fighter is not a static target, okay? Is a target that can move, it can be still, it can decide to be still and move when we move, it can decide to be moving and get still when we move, it can go forward, backward, to the sideway, for example, it can make feints to stop us from attacking. He has emotions, he expresses emotions, etc., etc. It's a very complex target that I have in order to be able to be effective using non-specific exercise, okay? Will I get faster in my reaction if I react to a square that is moving on my screen, clicking on my mouse? Yes, if I repeat it multiple times, I will get faster and more accurate trying to click on the square that is moving on my screen. Is it transferable to my reaction in a fight? No. Okay, so we have to understand that always every time we are in an open environment, a random environment, we have to be able to react and train and stimulate ourselves against a specific stimulus. Okay, we are just getting in a time in karate that we are just grabbing fancy ideas from other sports, and we are not being critical about the utility that specific idea that you grabbed here or there may have to our specific practice. Let's imagine a tennis player that has to improve his eye-hand coordination with the goal of shooting a tennis ball with the rackets, okay? Instead of doing that, he will have to hit a person that is moving towards him, trying to punch him. and he has to hit the hand of the training partner. Does it make sense? Is it specific? Would you train a tennis player like that? I don't think so. So why are we more and more using balls, floaters, etc., to improve, okay, our Kumite skills? We can use them with very specific goals, but they are not the best way to improve our fighting skills when we have to react or act against someone that is moving, that is making random attacks, defenses, etc., okay? Let's see here 2 videos from Agayev working with tennis balls. I don't know exactly what's the goal of the exercise, but I'm going to share with you how this can be really useful and not being useless. Okay, so here, for example, Agayev is trying to catch a ball in the air while changing another tennis ball to the one of the hands, and then trying to grab the ball that comes with the same hand. Okay, then we have here another example where Agayev is letting a tennis ball fall, okay, towards the ground, and he tries to catch it after a Nikite very fast, like a Gyakuzuki in WKF Kumite, for example, and he has to grab the ball before the ball gets on the ground. Okay. Will you get better in your reaction or accuracy grabbing a ball, repeating this exercise? Yes. Okay, not a surprise. Will be this transferable or the best way to improve your aim, your accuracy, targeting a face of an opponent? No. Okay, this might be useful if you just want to improve the physical speed of the movement. For example, many times we need to stimulate our karatekas so they can make their best in terms of, for example, activation rate of their motor units. That is one of the main contributors to our speed, for example. Okay, the amount of signals and of electrical signals you can send to your fibers to contract, okay, per second, for example. Okay, so many times if you just tell a karateka, listen, make 6 gyakuzukis as fast as possible, and that's just let them working alone. If I add an external stimulus, as for example my voice, and then I say "ich," and then that can stimulate the karateka to make a faster movement. Or if I make faster, if I say faster, faster, it might stimulate, motivate the karateka to activate more his muscles. I can use another external stimulus as a training partner. They are going to try to be faster than the training partner. It's the same thing as this ball. Okay, the ball will fall fast towards the ground, and that is an external stimulus that might motivate, stimulate your karateka to make a faster neuromuscular activation. It's the only thing you can use this for, is as an external stimulus, as any other that you might remember, okay, just to stimulate the central nervous system of your karatekas in order to get faster in the movement itself, but not getting faster to react faster against a real opponent or a competitive opponent. Okay, different things. Okay, it's a stimulus, an external stimulus to get our central nervous system to be more capable of activating our muscles fast. Just that. Okay, you could also react against anything that stimulates the speed of the movement of your karateka. It will be a good idea to stimulate the physical speed, but not the reaction speed, the decision-making speed. Okay, that must be with specific stimuli from the type of combat you make in your karate. Okay, now to end this lesson, let's understand one thing. When we talk about eye-hand coordination, we are talking about two different skills. The coupling between the eyes and the body, okay, the hands, it can be the hand, the elbow, the feet, the foot, the knee, whatever, and the decoupling between the eyes and the hand. So when we talk about coordination, eye-hand coordination, we are not just talking about the ability of looking to a target and then put my hand touching or striking that specific target in the right time, accurately, etc. I'm also talking about developing the ability of the coordinating the both things. I have to be able to be accurate while looking, for example, to my opponent's head and getting an accurate punch on his body, for example. Okay, so I have to develop both skills, both situations. There are situations where I may have an advantage to point my eyes to a certain target and get there, or so I can deceive my opponent as a feint, a simulation, a wrong information, okay, that will induce my opponent to defend worse, to be less effective in his defensive reaction. I can just look towards the target and then punch another different target. And this is also eye-hand coordination, but decoupling both things, being able to look to one target and accurately lead my hand to another different target. And that's what we do in karate for many years, right? Trying to deceive my opponent. Okay, so once again, let's try to get all the fancy stuff that we are finding today, even with top level karatekas. Okay, if you have 8 hours per day to dedicate to karate training, you can save always half an hour to play with different things, to try methods that you're not sure that will be really effective. Okay, but if you have to manage your time better, if you have 2 hours to train per day, per week, 3 hours, 4 hours, you have so many things to develop in karate. Why losing time with exercises, ideas that are just fancy? You have to trust your methodology as a karate coach. You have to search for the effective strategies, methods that will lead you to better results, but trying not to lose time with ideas and exercise that are a little more than useless. Okay, yes, okay, let's come to karate again and not wasting so many time with floaters and balls and lights and cones and evading cones. Why evading cones? Okay, I don't know. Yes, okay, just okay. Listen, right now, please subscribe the channel so you can be warned, okay, notified when a new lesson comes out. Go to our Instagram where I share lots of information, sometimes more, sometimes less, but I try to keep it moving, okay? And inside our Telegram channel, the link is in the description below of this video. I share, okay, as soon as possible, a summary in a PDF that you can download for free, okay, about the lessons I share on YouTube. Share the lesson with your colleagues, with your karate friends. Let me let your questions, okay, here in the comments of the video, and I will answer as fast as possible. For example, the theme of this lesson came from a question that my friend Oscar Vasquez Casas from Spain, Bilbao, made me in the last YouTube lesson. So let's work together so we can take the training methodology of karate to a very, very high level. Okay. Thank you very much. See you next week. And thank you, my friends.